Alright, we got 2 people in here. How's the video? How are we doing on video? You got video, you got audio, all that? I'm waiting for comments to show up. I don't see anything yet. We got a little delay here. Okay. Alright, guys. Okay. So this is going to be fucked up, okay? Alright. Okay, cool. Understood. Okay. So we have conducted, I have been assisted by a bunch of volunteers. It's probably, I don't know how many, maybe like 100 rotating in and out, maybe like 25 on the rig for the past 3 days to attempt to determine who exactly is funding these riots around the United States right now. And we've also investigated this the George Floyd incident. Okay, that is what we're going to talk about right now. As of about an hour ago, there was pretty much like a bunch of shooting going on in St. Louis, and there's burned cars in the intersection. I don't know what's going on. Apparently 4 police officers got shot, purportedly. I haven't confirmed that. We got a Metro officer that got killed in Vegas. Okay, so this situation is rapidly coming unspun. Okay, due to the severity of the situation and the possible time sensitivity, I am going to tell you what I think is going on, and I want you to understand that I'm working with my own dumb brain as quickly and efficiently as I can under the situation. And so if I make an error in here, it's important that whatever I claim, that you go out and try to assist in validating this stuff and getting this information out. Okay, so what I first want to cover is I want to cover the George Floyd incident. Okay, now this is to the best of my knowledge, of my understanding, what I've drawn out of it. Okay, so you have the officer Chauvin, who stood on Floyd's neck, that resulted in his death, that then resulted in this entire riot situation, okay, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is what I think is going on, and this is determined through the group investigation that we've conducted, and a bunch of people have put in a lot of work in. Okay, this is not me. Okay, so the Chauvin is a long-term employee of in Minneapolis as a police officer. He has a record of you know, shaking people down and shit, abusing people, assaulting people, and doing shady deals and shit. The restaurant, or the nightclub that he worked for is called El Nuevo Rodeo. Okay, El Nuevo Rodeo is has also employed George Floyd. So both of these individuals have a long-standing relationship with the establishment, El Nuevo Rodeo. Chauvin most likely worked there in a off-duty security capacity on the books, and Floyd worked there as a bouncer on the books capacity. George Floyd was arrested due to a call from the Cup Foods store in that vicinity, due to the use of a $20 bill that was counterfeited. He was using counterfeit money, and I believe that the reason that the store proprietor was able to identify that this $20 bill was counterfeited and then make the call to arrest him is because George Floyd had been going into this establishment and using $20 counterfeit bills for some time. And this was just like the instance where the proprietor had already determined that this was counterfeit money, and he decided to call the cops this time. where the counterfeit money is coming from is most likely the El Nuevo Rodeo restaurant, which is run by Maya Santa Maria, in the most recent ownership, the most recent significant ownership. The counterfeiting operation is coming through El Nuevo Rodeo because they are laundering the money and intermixing it with real money and disseminating it into the economy. And I believe that George Floyd was alerted to this, like from his connection with the club, was made aware that there's counterfeit money flow through this establishment, and that this counterfeit money operation is most likely through a executive independent agency, of which I haven't determined as of now. So I won't say a specific agency because I don't know, but it's most likely, in terms of MO and like the modus operandi of like national operations that are taking place, it's most likely the FBI or the CIA or the DEA. Most likely. They are the ones that are running the counterfeit operation in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Chauvin, in a police capacity, is probably somehow related to this, either in terms of the interface to the local police department, or perhaps he just found out about the counterfeiting operation, and he is then stealing money, stealing counterfeit money from this operation, and that the government agency that's running this op is not turning a blind eye because their operation is a higher priority than blowing their cover by prosecuting Chauvin. And so I suspect that George Floyd learned about the counterfeiting operation, and that Chauvin, either on his own accord or under direction, probably assassinated George Floyd in order to cover this up. This is what it appears, to the best of my knowledge. It could be incorrect. It appears that the counterfeit money is coming in through International Falls Port by train, and that's very close to the Canadian border. It's about 290 miles away from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then it is probably being disseminated out to various front organizations through Minneapolis and probably the greater United States, and that this is probably one of only one of several of these operations that are taking place. The port at International Falls has had customs seize other counterfeit money shipments, and those are coming in from China. And so now when I say China, it's going to be very easy for anybody that's watching this to attribute that identity with the nation state of China. And I've tried to get into this with these episodes of discussing China. That is not what's going on. China is being used as the surrogate for this operation, most likely so that it can be pinned on China. And this is a United States government operation. So the United States government is, making counterfeit money and releasing it and into the economy for some kind of greater operation, of which I don't, we don't have any leads at this time on what that could be. Chauvin was probably most likely killing Floyd because he was going to blow the he was going to blow this operation because he was like kind of just going buck wild spinning these $20 counterfeit bills. Okay. Okay, now we need to discuss something that's much more. Does anybody have any questions about that related to what I've said so far? I do hope that you disseminate this message to anyone that will possibly listen to it within the next 24 hours. And the reason why is that at this time, active military and National Guard and reserve components are being deployed across the entire United States. And the public narrative for this is that they are going to be used for riot suppression. I do not believe that that is what it's for. I think that the riots have taken place in order to make the deployments possible. So it's a chicken came before the egg type of situation here. So in my opinion, and this is my own, this is not the opinion of the people that are conducting the investigation. We are now on to a separate tangent that is Dugin, and there is a possibility that I'm wrong here, but because of time sensitivity, I wanted to put out a warning for anyone to prepare in whatever way you see fit. If I am wrong about this, then the damage is pretty minimal, as long as you understand that you should not turn to violence or act in a manner that's going to be unnecessarily destructive when I tell you this. But I believe that we are having the military deployed to the United States in preparation for this control apparatus to be turned inward against the people in the United States. And I don't really know what the severity of that is. I don't know if we're talking like a purge that's going to be coming up like really soon, or if we're talking about general deployments that are long lasting in order to create a cordon and a grid throughout the United States to control and monitor movement as things get heated up here. I believe that the agencies that are going to interface with the general public in terms of any conflict that's going to arise are probably going to be your three-letter agencies like DHS and probably FBI and some other organizations. And I believe that the military is being deployed to the United States in order to control movement across major roadways and probably have checkpoints at some point. And like I said, I don't know what kind of timetable we're talking here, if we're talking like this week or next week, or if we're talking like 6 months from now or a year from now. I don't know. I do not believe that this deployment is related to actual defense from China or anything like that. I believe that this is in reaction to monitoring of social media and the government understanding, the greater government apparatus understanding that people in the United States are waking up, and so they're running out of time. And so I believe that this is a countermeasure to that, and it's going to get really bad, really fast. And that's my opinion, and I do hope that I'm wrong. And if I am, I will happily eat my words, because that means that we still have some days of peace left. And I wanted to make this message and get it out to you in the case that this is an imminent threat, and so that you can, kind of examine this information and check it out. What questions do you have for me? Now, I should be clear that I don't believe that the U.S. military has any awareness of this at all. So we're talking like a very few number of people that have awareness of this, and this would be a situation, regardless of how you cut it, of compartmentalized information where people are just getting deployed under a pretense of something else. The protests are certainly completely synthetic. So we have determined that these are all being funded and organized in mass, and that the people that are committing the acts of violence are probably regular, like citizens of these localities for the most part. I'm sure that there are some people coming in from out of town that are, instigating this stuff and funding it and doing like high level coordination. But in terms of execution on the ground, I believe that this is just, these are local citizens that are being used to fulfill this kind of nefarious thing that's going on. Yeah, Joe Mama says the purge is going to probably be at the official capacity, where they're going to remove corrupt officials to make room for more goons. And I agree with this. So when I'm talking about the possibility, not inevitability, but the possibility of a purge taking place, we were talking about the like the power players in the United States. We were talking about the people that aren't on board with the game, that are influential and you know, have a lot of resources. That's who we're talking about here for purging. Okay, obviously they're not going to be able to purge you like door to door. That could come if this goes that direction. It could build to that at some point after further destabilization, when people lose faith in the United States and the Constitution. So, what other questions do you have? I do not believe that you should take up arms, because the situation is extremely confusing and there's a lot of deceit. And so I believe that you should take preparation right now to care for yourself and your family, and start, you know, immediate you know, preparation for like all the things that you need by priority. So like water, and I don't mean I would do rainwater harvesting, so that you have on-site, you know, water harvesting, so their stores don't have bottled water. You'll still be good to go. I would recommend looking up what's called a solar still to evaporate water in a box that has like a matte black paint in it to make it hot, with a sheet of glass on top, with a pipe coming out and the end of the sheet of glass running into a slit in the pipe. That way you can put a pan of water underneath the piece of glass and it will evaporate, and you'll get distilled water that's solar distilled. I'd recommend that as like an easy $20 solution for like producing your own distilled water. And then I would recommend that you you know, take whatever practical steps that you can that make sense or that you're motivated to do, to provide for yourself in whatever way you see fit for things that you consume and require, you know, to be okay. And the shit is we probably do have time. There probably is time. The most important thing right now is for people to disseminate the message that people need to be in a defensive mindset, and they need to not, you know, they need to be very careful about accepting the status quo narrative that's going to be sold through the MSM, because it's going to be designed to promote a reaction, which is the actual purpose of whatever they're saying, you know. And we obviously don't know the future, so I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. But the deployment of troops sure seems like it's not for riots. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, you can plant some things if you want to get into planting food. I would recommend a really easy crop to grow is sorghum. It will pretty much grow anywhere, and it's extremely genetically variable, so that you'll get good chances of like survival even in poor conditions. And it can be used for making like multiple things. Like you can use it for fiber. You can make brooms out of it. You can eat it like a wheat replacement, like a grain. It's a grain, and it has high nutrient content, and they pretty much grow like wheat. So I would recommend sorghum. You can still get some sorghum off though if you wanted to. So that's pretty much the warning message. Derek asked me, are the riots being manipulated into happening because people didn't listen to the stay-at-home orders with COVID? Not exactly. They're just kind of all a part of the same bundle, right? So this is like the locking down of the United States. That is what is going on in the United States right now is a intensification of control and monitoring and getting people used to following orders. And that's kind of this phase that we're going through right now. And I don't know how long it's going to last. It could become rapidly unstable from here on out, because like right now, like I just watched an hour ago, I just watched a video of a very like busy, heavy intersection in St. Louis, Missouri, three hours east of me. And they're doing like mag dumps, and they're burning cars in the intersection. So this is how serious this is. And then there's like, I mean, it's like I couldn't tell what street it is, but it has like a large, facade building with like a lit up sign, and there's cars driving everywhere, and there's just like mag dumps going on, and there's burning cars in the intersection. This is probably like 2 hours ago. Hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and it's since, like, I've looked at the live stream, and now there's no gunfire, but there are smoked out cars on the road. So it's like, and you've got police officers like getting shot all over the United States. Like this is rapidly, we're kind of spinning loose here. So. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, what's going to happen with COVID-19. I know that like it's kind of like the least of your worries. Like you should probably just like refuse anything to do with COVID, because it's a government operation, and it probably has to do with, it's probably nothing that you want anything to do with, because it's certainly nefarious. So I don't even really need to speculate on it. They don't have your best interests at heart, I'll tell you that. And it could be potentially extremely dangerous in the long run, in terms of DNA collection and shit like that, or introduction of viruses into the population. Yeah, China. Okay, somebody was asking me. Lord Masterization says, "Is China important anymore?" It is very important. You're going to get China dropped up your ass. It's going to happen no matter what. So it doesn't really matter how bad things get in the United States. You're gonna come to a Chinese war. I don't know. If you have somebody asked me what should they do if people come asking supplies during SHTF, I don't know. That's up to you. Somebody asked me about brick funding. So it appears at this time, like we initially were looking at bricks, and we found one pallet of bricks that was like one of the better known videos. We traced that, and we determined that it was already there since February, which kind of put us off the lead on it. But then since then, we've gotten a bunch of emails about people that have found bricks in their town, and some of them are even like taking pictures of the people dropping off bricks, and it's happening like on the day of the riots. So the bricks are certainly paid for and coordinated. This is not one entity. This is what is going on right now with the protests, with who is funding the protests, is something that's dispersed through the entire United States. So this is not like one guy or one group or one small thing. This is like a very diffused situation into the population. Like we were talking to a lot of people here that are involved. Yeah, we are working on tracing bricks. We've got multiple brick loads all over the United States that we are tracing right now. Yeah, China, that is correct. Slippy says China has already been dropped up our ass. That is correct, and now we are just waiting on it to catch up, and it will catch up no matter what. Okay, so any last questions? I want to wrap this up. I'm gonna get some shut-eye. Hopefully, if you're watching, if you stumble on this video and you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I apologize. We've left out a lot of prior information here. My focus in making this video is to give a warning to anybody that wants to listen to it. I suspect that the situation with the money laundering and the counterfeit money is going to be like leaking out slowly, pretty soon through MSM. I'd say like within the next few weeks, you're going to start seeing mentions of this, you should understand that this is a U.S. government counterfeiting operation. And so if they don't attribute that to it, it's probably incorrect. And you should also understand that the money is coming in from, it's import marked from China. So most likely what's going on is that you have people that are not Chinese in fucking China printing fucking counterfeit money, and they're sending it here, and then it's getting diffused into the economy. And that could mean a lot of things, but that is the basis of why George Floyd got killed. And so if you want to pass that around and look into it, you can look up there was a $900,000 $1 bill shipment that was seized by customs in International Falls, Minnesota. That's up by the Canadian border, and this would have been the end of last year. And if you're not familiar with counterfeiting, $1 bills are not very efficient for counterfeiting because of the amount of the cost and the amount of risk in labor. And so this is like one of the most indicative things, besides the prevalence of the agencies in Minnesota, to suggest that this would be a government operation. Because if they're pouring funds into it and they're not actually doing it for profiting off of counterfeiting, then that would suggest that it's a government agency that is injecting this counterfeit money into the United States. And it's almost certain that Chauvin is either he's most likely peripherally involved in this operation, whatever operation this is. That's most certainly probably not a public operation and is currently still under classification. And he's probably peripherally involved in this through his role at constant, being hired contract to do off-duty security at the El Nuevo rodeo. This cop is not ex-mil or DOD as far as we can tell. He is prior DNR. So he was employed by DNR concurrently during his time serving on the police force, and he's been on the police force for, I believe, 19 years, if I'm not mistaken, serving in the same location. Yeah, he's low level. So what we're talking about, so if we're talking about this George Floyd Chauvin incident again, to be clear, what it appears, and this could be incorrect, make sure that to take that caveat, this is something that we've really uncovered in the last 24 hours and have looked into and been doing tracing on all these people involved. And this is just because of the situation, this is why I'm releasing this information if it's somewhat premature. So the situation is that what it appears is that there is a government agency counterfeiting operation that has one of its many ports in Minnesota through International Falls, and that they are bringing in printed counterfeit money from China through International Falls, Minnesota, and that it is being disseminated through a network through front businesses like El Nuevo Rodeo, and they are laundering the money into circulation. And because Officer Chauvin and George Floyd are both employed at Nuevo Rodeo, this is their prior contact link for multiple years prior to the killing, and it is most likely that Chauvin was stealing money, counterfeit money, and spending it, and we judge that based off of the multiple real estate properties that he's bought, which are beyond the salary of somebody that works for DNR or the police department. He's most likely laundering money, stealing counterfeit money and laundering it, and then turning cash around and buying additional real estate for a vacation home and some expensive homes. And so most likely where George Floyd comes in is that most likely through his work at the club Nuevo Rodeo, George Floyd probably discovered this counterfeiting operation and then was also stealing money, and then Chauvin killed him in order to prevent this from, being known about, to prevent it from disseminating. Other things that we haven't, I do not believe, I believe that, so Trump today tweeted the Cash Man, which is the individual that was in Columbus, Ohio, handing out cash to rioters to destroy property and directing them in destroying property. And Trump retweeted that image and put on there, I believe he said, "We see you, anarchists," like "we see you, comma, anarchists." And I believe that this is, I believe that the president is attempting to get in front of the situation to try to create the narrative of anarchists that are doing this. And this is not the case. These people that are doing this are completely tied in with non-governmental organizations and with state representatives that are currently in the government that are certainly doing this covertly, but this is what's going on. We think that Klobuchar has something to do with it. That's unsubstantiated at this time. It's probably like a 10 degrees from Kevin Bacon type of thing. I don't know. So anyway, that is the emergency warning, is to kind of take stock of the situation and take whatever practical steps you can. Okay. That's about it. I will let you know when I have something more. I just wanted to get something out, for the next 24 hours in case something pops off this week. Serious. I just don't want you guys being caught with your pants down. At least if even if I'm incorrect about this, there's other people that I think probably, I don't think that everybody in the investigation probably agrees with me 100%, but this is just my judgment. And so I wanted to put it out there so that you can at least have it in the back of your brain if things start escalating in your location, to help you make sense of it and make the best decision that you can based off of what you see in your area. All right. So you guys stay safe. I love you. And I guess you're not going to have fun, but God bless you.